Man and sport, a timeless means of entertainment. Some men hit home runs, others are curb stumped. Some win Cy Youngs, others get dunked on. Some men become MVPs, others have 70 saves in a game. But your stats won't matter here. Here we discuss the issues, search the hearts of men, and judge in vivid detail. Only raw takes will do. This is sports analysis. This is Sports Unchained. This is Sporticus! Hey guys, Sporticus is all over social media. You can find us on Rockfin. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Anchor, Twitter, and Patreon. All under Sporticus or Sporticus Live. Come holla at us.
Mackenzie Dern is getting ice cream after this weekend.
You say who's getting ice cream for this weekend?
Mackenzie Dern. She's getting ice cream.
Okay.
Can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you now. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I just, I'm looking at the stats and, in one round, Mackenzie Dern was up almost 40 strikes in attempts on Nina Ansaroff, which to me, like that's surprising, man. Like I can't imagine somebody who takes the last name of Nunes like that. I mean, I almost don't feel like she's even earned it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm joking, but like, God.
No. I know what you mean. She doesn't have that fight mentality.
That was not a good performance. It looks like, you know what I mean?
See, here's the thing about it. Like, here's what you and I had a discussion about it. We kept having a discussion about it. It's one thing to be a champ and move to another division or something like that and have a layoff and stuff. Like, there's certain people you just got to give a proper respect to. But like fighting, you should have at least one fight back. She was gone almost 2 years and just came back into something that was pretty much a number one contender fight, which I don't even think it should have been that. Dern's been.
They need names.
Sure, and they moving up. They're promoting anyone to number one contender that they can at this point.
Right.
And I understand that, but like, man, this was not the fight for her. And because Dern beat her ass, like it just wasn't her fight. Like,
well, man, the thing is I've hyped Nina Ansaroff, and sorry, this is the first time I've seen her change her name to Nunes. So I'm going to keep probably just habitually calling her Ansaroff on, just on accident. So I'll try to.
It's all good. It's all good.
Like, Nina Nunes, dude, she was a top contender in that division. Like I didn't think Mackenzie Dern was going to roll her like that. You know what I mean? Like on the ground, like, dude, Nina Ansaroff is not only married to one of the best, if not the best pound per pound fighters ever, but like you would think that some of that would rub off, like
you would think the mentality would at least, because like it's not the thing that makes Amanda Nunes so dangerous is the attitude, it's the mentality. And sure, she has skill, but like, I mean, she's arguably not as skilled as Valentina Shevchenko, but her mentality is very different, Not that Valentina doesn't have a great mentality for winning and stuff like that, but it's different. It is. That's why she's still on top.
It's weird to me. Like Nina Nunes was man, she was what I was really hoping to see her actually make a title shot, like a title run, you know. And her record isn't good. It's not like, you know, she's had a couple good wins in the UFC, nothing spectacular, but like she's had some really hard fought, you know, wins that, you know, she showed improvement, you know, she showed domination, you know, she's shown a real eye. So like, is Mackenzie Dern that good, or is Nina Ansaroff not that?
She's not that good. She's never been, and that's okay. It's not a lot of people.
Sean, if you spent time around, I don't know, whoever your favorite analyst is, podcaster, announcer,
Michael Wilbon would be one of them. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, if you spent every day for however long Nina Ansaroff and Amanda Nunes been together around Michael Wilbon, not even romantically, just around him, would you not pick some of that shit up?
No, you're right, and I'm glad you even brought the romantic part up, because I know, you know, like you want to be, that wasn't a slight. You're saying like that's an intimacy that's even on a much deeper, way more intimate level. Like she really does have all of Amanda Nunes like behind her.
Yeah,
figuratively and literally, whatever. I didn't mean for that to end up like that, but you get what I'm saying. I was like, oh shit, no, but seriously though, seriously, god damn it, I fucked up. I'm sorry, people.
Yeah. Cut, take two, go.
No. But seriously though, like she has all of her. She's with her in every step of the way, and she didn't pick any of it up. Like she's just not a winner, and she's not gonna be. I never saw her as a winner. Never. I get what you saw, but
you know the worst part for me is like right now, like after that kind of a loss, like, dude, maybe it's cool just, you know, staying at home with the kid, you know, like, because people know you used to be a good fighter, but like right now you keep getting your ass kicked like this, dude.
Think about it like this: 2 years went by. How much has changed in 2 years in the fight game?
She had the baby. You know that she was they did.
Yeah, I know, but that's I get that part, man. But like I'm saying, like the amount of things, like take how much Valentina, the champions themselves. Let's just take one. Valentina Shevchenko. Look how much she's grown in 2 years. Look where she was 2 years ago, and look now. You can't fight anybody like that.
Young either, too. You know what I mean? Like Shevchenko's like I don't know her age off the top of my head. She looks 21 to me because she's beautiful, but like I just
you're not taking her out for ice cream, bro. I don't care what the fuck you say about how beautiful she is.
She out of my.
You keep it real on Sporticus. You ain't getting a motherfucking date, bro.
Yeah, it's all good. I don't need one.
No.
I just want to say too that like I was watching the lead up to Nunes' last fight, and you know they were showing, you know, some of the behind the scenes stuff they do before, you know, the fight, and it was you know, her and Nina with the baby, and they were talking about the process of like, you know, Nina carrying it and blah blah blah. And honestly, like if you didn't see it, then just me mentioning it should make you want to look it up. It's actually pretty beautiful as like a family story, like. But it's so funny too, because like everything you think about Amanda Nunes in the octagon is so true to life. Like you would think, like I was like, oh, how can a savage human being like that, who just puts people down, who is scarier than most men that I know, like, you know, like, so she's like, you know,
she's on par with Brock Lesnar, bro. I ain't gonna lie with you. I ain't gonna lie to you. She's on par with Brock Lesnar
of athletic performance, and she's a woman, which, I mean, that's not like a knock. That's even more impressive. It's like, damn, man, like I even with all the testosterone I have, man, she's still beating the shit out of me, man. Like testosterone, what? You know, so like she's doing whatever she can with whatever she has and doing every bit of it. And, you know, so you're like, all right, well, how does that person be a parent? And it's like, well, I mean, you can see by like how she fights, she kind of like approaches life like that, kind of like she has to relate it to something simple. You know what I mean? So Nina Nunes was talking about how, like, you know, the first couple, you know, weeks or months or whatever of having the baby, like Amanda Nunes would be like, yeah, it's just like having dog. Like, you know, you take care of dog, you feed dog, you make sure the dog goes to the bathroom.
That's a little Russian, bro. I feel you. I feel what you're going for. It's a little Russian. It's thick. You got the thickness right, but like, that's
sorry,
super.
I was like, it all comes together to me. But you know what I mean? Like
terrible. I know what you're going for. I appreciate your attempt at that terrible accent you just did.
But yeah, Amanda Nunes basically comparing, her child to a fucking dog, and it's like that is so like vintage, like something that I don't even know Amanda Nunes, but I feel like that'd be vintage her. You know what I mean? Like it just thinking like, oh, okay, well this is just like an animal. You just feed it and keep it alive. Like it's like no. This is your son. You gotta love it. And she's like, well, I do. And she's like, show it. She's like,
but you know what the crazy part is? She's gonna be the one at home, taking care of the kids because, she's gonna retire soon. Like, there's no way.
Breadwinner.
Right? No, but they've already won their bread, and she ain't got nobody else to fight. This is pretty much the end of the road, bro. Her and Valentina they're gonna have to Roy Jones Jr. themselves, man. They're gonna have to. They fought who they could, and then they retire early.
The worst part is the only fights left for either one of them are each other. And you can honestly, if Valentina would win the next fight after that, you could honestly make it, whatever a fiveology is. But like you can make it a 5-fight, Grand Prix with these guys to where, they fought 4 times and here's the one, here's the, the ultimate where after this, both of them are gone. You still have that kind of time left in their abilities and career.
I do it. If I'm them, I do it because it would be the ultimate respect to both of them. I'm like, look, like if Valentina wins, I'm like, okay, I'm like, all right, this is my rival. If I'm Amanda Nunes, I'm like, good. I'm glad she won. Now when I beat her, that's it. We can't have 5 fights. Like it'd be this thing like if she beats me 3 times in a row, it'd be a tennis sort of thing, where Djokovic finally beat Nadal. So it could be that sort of thing. I don't know. For those calling me out on my tennis knowledge, fuck you. Yeah, it's Sporticus. I know a little bit about tennis too. But no, it would be a tennis sort of thing where you actually take the throne from someone. And in tennis, it takes a while. Like you get your ass whooped by this person for a good half a decade, and then you start to come on strong and you eventually overtake them as the best, that there is. So they could happen, but Valentina only needs to lose one, man, and one of those would go to decision.
And that's tough. But that's the problem, though, is how unexciting to the legacy would be if Valentina won the next fight and then lost the 4th fight. It'd be like, oh, okay, well, it's 3-1, so what the fuck? Like, you're done. Like,
yeah, so it's tough to do, If she knocks her out, then we gotta get a 4th fight anyway. But
honestly, I think, and this is the only time that I've ever, thought this about any sort of matchup with whoever who's done it, 3 times or multiple times or whatever. This is the only fight that would be worth a trilogy with the underdog going in 0-2. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you're going to get an underdog who's lost twice, like another, like a 3rd fight is like, in this case, yeah, I would, because I don't think she lost the 2nd fight. And that's what it comes down to is like, if it goes to decision,
it should have been a draw. Not going to lie, the 2nd fight should have been a draw because I just don't think either one of them really wanted it that much. I mean, Valentina did, but like she didn't step up to the plate the way I would think that Valentina should have.
I don't think Shevchenko can knock out Nunes, and I think that's part of her game plan is having a little bit of the power edge in her matchup.
Yes.
So
it's foolhardy. It's foolhardy. It is. She was like, I think I won. It's like, no, you didn't. Like with that 2nd fight, I was like, you didn't win that 2nd fight. But shut up. Like, I don't think she lost. I think it was a draw.
Do you know why the 2nd fight was so close though? Was Shevchenko is so much technically better than Nunes that she can just outpoint, like point fight her. You know what I mean? If she gets the strikes in the right position, Nunes can't take her down and keep her down. I guarantee you it would be the opposite. Like, Shevchenko's wrestling, she's a little stud.
Shevchenko doesn't want to win like that, and I respect the hell out of that. So lose the way you're gonna lose. I'm okay with that, man. Like, let's be for real. Daniel Cormier lost the way he was gonna lose to both Stipe and John Jones. Go ahead, just go ahead and lose, man. Like go out on your shield. That's what you do. You don't worry about what people are gonna say and what's gonna happen and whether or not you get this fight or that fight. Just go out there, and if you're gonna lose, go lose, man. It's not the end of the world at all. Like he was virtually, like Cormier's a guy that's was virtually retired anyway when he fought Stipe. So Valentina Shevchenko and Amanda Nunes, to me, they ain't got nothing else to do. I mean, they're gonna fight each other, and that's gonna be the end. That's the end of them. That's the end of them, straight up. I'm sorry to say, but that's how it is. I mean, they both cleaned out everybody, though. They cleaned out everybody and then fought each other multiple times. Like we don't need it. Like there's nothing you could do, and that's okay though. That'll clear the division out, and then someone else will rise and be a big star. They'll clear multiple divisions out, and people will rise to be stars. Hopefully, right now. I don't see it. To be honest with you, and even though she doesn't listen, she's an alpha male person. Paige Van Zandt, I wish she had actually changed her trainer, just changed everything she was doing, switched it up, and got really serious about this thing. She would be a star, another up and comer. She's over in Bellator. Valerie Laredo.
I've heard the name.
Gorgeous woman, and she has the Paige Van Zandt complex. Like she looks good. She's on Instagram, and that's all people see. She's gonna get her brain ripped out of her head, though. Someone's not gonna be joking with her, or playing around and dancing around. Like it's just. There's certain people got it coming, and she's one of them. She's kind of like Izzy, but when Izzy gets in there, you've seen him. Like Izzy wasn't a guy you even liked at first, but you see how professional he actually is, and you see that he don't play games when he gets in that octagon with you. It might be a tall order for him to knock you out or beat you down, but he's gonna go in there with every intention of doing so. And it's just different. She's more of a Sean O'Malley type. Not that she's flashy and she's extremely skilled, but there's this I'm so much better than you think going on. It's like, stop. The only person to really successfully fight off the haters was Michael Jordan. And it hurt him a lot in his personal life, to where at his Hall of Fame acceptance speech, he just called everybody out for hating on him. But he carried that burden with him. He probably still carries it with him. He probably still has newspaper articles of people shitting all over. So people shouldn't want to do that. Just be fun. I'm not saying she don't have fun, but like I'm looking forward to somebody humbling this shit out of her. She's gonna get it. I'm not saying that she's just out of control with her ego, but somebody's gonna knock her the fuck out. It's gonna happen. Somebody's gonna decimate her, because those type of fighters never see that over the horizon. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to a little bit more. Pick out some favorite fights on that card. I know you got the card in front of you. At least you should. Just pick out some fights you just kind of some fighters you want to talk about. It wasn't.
Well, on the undercard, I always like seeing John Makdessi win. I just like him. He seems like a cool dude. But on the actual card, I'm a little surprised Sam Alvey lost. But if it was submission, then dude, like, get your shit together, man. Like, he was on a good track. He's been there long enough. He shouldn't be getting submitted by some guy named Julian Marquez. Like, I don't never.
It was a good performance, though. I mean, like, we didn't see it coming, but like I like the results. This might be the fire to this might be the fuel to the fire for Sam Alvey. We I don't know. Perhaps. Let's hope so.
I mean, fuel to the fire. He has like almost 50 professional fights.
well, sure, but like some people pick it up late, man. I mean, Donald Cerrone had a nice late surge in his career. I'm gonna keep bringing up that guy that got knocked.
I don't know if I would compare Donald Cerrone and Sam Alvey. I just don't think I'd do.
I just meant as far as how many fights they had and stuff like that. Like, I mean, a late surge is a late surge. Like,
Sure.
I'm always thinking to me, a fighter's always trying to pick up that first win to start a streak and eventually get to that title shot, man. Like, just string some wins together. That's what they want to do. That's what I'm looking for them to do. And he's no different. Nobody's any different. I'm always Cody Garbrandt's one win away from starting that long road back to a title shot. And I'm not gonna. I can't take that away from him. No, I'm just saying, like, that's not even a joke. I mean, he's got to start by putting down a remote.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I can help myself. Yeah, he's got to start by putting down a remote fucking Cheetos. But once he does that, like, and actually gets in the gym, he's probably been in the gym, whatever. Now I'm being an asshole. But, like, seriously though, just get that one win, get the second. By the time we get to the fourth, now we're getting somewhere. Like, everybody's looking for that, and that's what I'm looking at from everybody. Every single person.
Yeah, and this, like you said earlier, this isn't like the most exciting card. So, watching everyone, you're kind of looking for like who's going to get the next name fight. And honestly, a guy to watch out for besides the main card draw, which was Vettori and Holland, like Arnold Allen. I thought Sadiq Youssef was looking good coming into this matchup, and I didn't know much about Arnold Allen, but that performance, man, he was pretty convincing.
He was a little gassed at the end. But yeah, Yusuf didn't have it. I didn't know what was going on with him, but like, Allen just kind of outclassed him, he ran out of gas at the end. But like, yeah, he got outclassed, and that was surprising to see, actually, because that's a guy that Yusuf's a guy that I watched, quite a bit, and I didn't see that. I didn't see it coming. I didn't. But yeah, I mean, let's see what Allen. That's the win. We'll look back on this. It could be 3 more fights from now, and he could be, win those 3, and we'll look back and say this was the jumping off point, where he really started to put it together,
Yeah.
Sometimes guys come out of nowhere, man. Sometimes they don't. Like John Jones didn't come out of nowhere. We saw it coming. I'll even say with Ryan Bader, I understand he had to go somewhere else, but I'll say even with Ryan Bader, you saw he was just on this track to be really good. And, John Jones was in his way, but he was in a lot of people's way. Lyoto Machida was fool's gold. Just saying. He just had a style nobody really knew about until he got his ass kicked, and then that was the end of that. Well, he should have lost that first decision to Shogun, and then after that he got his ass whooped. But, Machida's a guy that I look back on and go, how the fuck did he get to where he was going? How the fuck did he get where he was?
Well, he was all undefeated. It was because of his power, man. Like, he used to have power, but you kind of lose that as you get older and you start being less quick. Your reflexes, your power gets negated by not only your opponent but your own abilities. So,
I mean, I know how he actually got there. He had the biggest thing is he had a style nobody could actually figure out. But my point was just like, damn, you didn't figure it out. Like, it's less of how did he get there, and it's more of how didn't y'all figure this out? Like, God. Anyway, he's just, man. I didn't think he was gonna be one of those guys that was overrated. But as soon as he got figured out, his whole career was done. And when Shogun knocked him out, I knew he was. He's been nothing since then, and I knew he wouldn't be. Whatever, all the wins he put together and stuff looked like shit. I have never seen someone fall so horribly from grace than when he lost that. Clearly should have lost that decision to Shogun, and then he got his ass knocked out. Because Shogun said, "Nah, I'm gonna just knock his ass out. I don't care what the ref said. I'm tired of it." Like, it should have never even went to them, and then he made sure it didn't that time. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to the main event of this card, because that's the one I want to get to.
Well, you gotta give Marvin Vettori a name now. You know what I mean? You gotta give him a top opponent.
Yeah, he shouldn't get Israel Adesanya. He's out of his fucking.
No, I didn't say.
No, he's saying that though, and everybody else is. Nah, he needs to shut the fuck up. There's a Sporticus where we tell people to shut the fuck up. Vettori, shut the fuck up. I'm glad you beat Holland. I wanted Holland to knock him out so bad, but Vettori needs to shut the fuck up. Do I think he has a chance against Israel Adesanya? Absolutely. After that performance, but he was fighting Holland. Israel Adesanya is a different animal, man. And he's a lot better than what he was when Vettori fought him the first time. I don't know what the hell Vettori think he's gonna go get in there with, but
Give him Paulo.
Nah. Say that again.
Give him Paulo Costa. Why not?
Oh yeah, sure. I think that's a little bit too much of an error. I think you can give him somebody under that. You know.
No, he's number 6. Costa just had to drop out of a fight. It's perfect.
Sure. Okay. Fine then. Like the thing is, I don't ever want to argue too much with something because you can always make it make sense later. You know, with your matchups and like with when we talk about Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier, like you can always make all this stuff make sense later. So it is not that big of a deal.
But
so,
just like the Poirier McGregor fight, it makes sense now more than ever.
Right. And you know,
like before this fight, it wouldn't have made that much sense, but you could have made it happen and justified it later. But now you can make the fight and justify it.
But here's the thing. So who do you give Israel Adesanya next? Did you give him Robert Whittaker or what?
You kind of got to wait to see what Izzy wants to do. Does he want to, go up to heavyweight and fight John Jones? Just kidding. But no, honestly, Israel Adesanya kind of just gets to wait right now because he's a champion coming into his next fight off a loss. Yeah, it was to another champion. He went to another weight class, still a loss. So he's kind of got to see who whittles down to fight him next. Like he doesn't just get to go in and start calling people out. He's got to wait, man. Like he would have been on a different track had he won against Blachowicz, but he didn't. So obviously he did a good job, in his performance, but he's got to wait, man. And he's already beaten the shit out of Costa. He beat Whittaker. He's called out Cannonier, and Cannonier lost. You know what I mean? Going into that fight. So really, Marvin Vettori might be one of those guys that he might have to fight next just because he hasn't already fought him. So that's why I say
he has. Vettori's fought him already.
Oh, had they? Oh, dude,
he wants a rematch with him. That's why he's got such a hard on for him.
Oh, okay. Well, I'd have let me look that up really quick.
That's why I'm saying no, because like you can make the fight make sense now, but I think you can make it make more sense later. If Vettori's the guy he says he is, you got to keep winning fights, man. Like beat Paulo Costa, and then like now we really got to fight.
Yeah, man. Like I mean, Izzy's knocking people all left and right, but he decisioned Vettori from what it looks like. So hey, again, it might make sense, if Vettori just runs through. Well, here's the thing: if Vettori can, run through Whittaker or Gastelum or the guy just said Costa or Brunson or Cannonier, if he can run through one or two of those guys, then why would you not make that rematch? It would only make sense. So like maybe not at this next fight for Izzy, but like, give Vettori one or two fights. And I honestly think you can give Izzy the time off in between those fights. Or, I mean, if he has to fight somebody, isn't Robert Whittaker fighting soon?
Say that again.
Can you not hear me?
No. I just missed you said Robert Whittaker fighting soon. That's the last part I heard.
Oh,
yeah. He's fighting Gastelum.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The winner of that fight can fight Izzy, and that's perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Gastelum is Adesanya too would be great. It would.
Yeah, well,
that's a good fight.
It would Whittaker Adesanya too, but in between all of that, give Vettori another one or two fights. You see, end of the year, Vettori Adesanya 2 could be a good fight, like a really good fight.
Yeah, give him. I said give him Costa and Whittaker. No matter who, no matter if Whittaker wins or not. Well, I guess if Whittaker wins, then he should probably fight Izzy again. But give him Costa and the loser of Whittaker Gastelum. That sounds good to me. And then you're still looking at the loser. You're still looking at Gastelum and Whittaker, depending on if they can beat Vettori, and some potentially a couple fights after that facing Adesanya again. So. Yeah, I see that working out pretty decent. Kevin Holland, he needs to go back to the drawing board. He needs to change everything about himself. He needs to stop. He didn't joke around that much in this one, but
it'd be a good fight for him. Uriah Hall would be a good fight for him because Uriah Hall doesn't play that game, dude.
I don't know about Uriah Hall. He's Uriah Hall's supposed to fight Chris Weidman next,
which is still a good fight. You know what I mean?
No, it's a great fight because
they're the same weight. Like it'd be one of those things where Holland couldn't go in there and fuck around against a guy like Uriah Hall, who's going to hit you when you start fucking around. So I mean, Weidman doesn't fuck around, so it's going to be a good fight. Assuming, but I don't know, man. Kevin Holland, when you take a loss like that and you don't even look like you were competitive while you weren't fucking around and doing your thing, are you uncomfortable? Are you not? Do you not want to be there? Like what happened, man? What just not
loss?
Say what?
Just came off of a loss, and he shouldn't have taken that fight. I mean, I'm glad he did, and in a way he should have, but he just doesn't have the skill. That's why he shouldn't have. He can't stop you from taking him down. Like in mixed martial arts, you gotta stop that takedown. You get taken down and you can't do anything on the ground, it's over with, man. Like, I know you're a BJJ guy, but like you gotta know how to wrestle. Like,
no, I'm not a BJ. I'm a wrestler guy. I'm not.
I'm sorry. Well, I mean, as far as your training background goes.
No, I have more pure wrestling experience than I do BJJ. I've never trained BJJ with a gi. I've trained submission wrestling. Sure. But I've never trained BJJ. I just want to.
You get what I'm saying then. Sorry about that.
No, I know what you're saying. I just, I mean.
Yeah, I was trying to attribute more of your recent stuff because I don't really count someone's base. Like your base is wrestling. I know that. Like you, Nick, Connor, all you guys are wrestlers. And and people don't get. Wrestling's very different than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. They really don't get that. They think that you could just have BJJ and that'll stop a wrestler. That's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. No. It never works like that. Ever.
Wrestlers are too hard-nosed, and I don't mean to correct you again. My base is in Taekwondo. That was my first one ever. So I mean, I just in terms of like my training, I'm not like heavily trained. I have trained and stuff. I don't have like a black belt in anything, but like
sure. That's where the difficulty lies in trying to pinpoint that. Sorry again.
Well, and that's the thing is like I have trained in enough disciplines and enough combative arts, because there is a difference between martial arts and combative arts in my opinion. But I've trained in enough of them long enough to know that you don't claim training or experience you don't have. Like, no, I have done grappling competitions. I've sparred numerous times. I've done a backyard fight or two. But like in terms of anything else, like I'm not like an expert. I have an expert mind frame for when I'm looking at stuff because I know what I did wrong, and I know what. You know what I mean? Like
in Smoke's backyard.
yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, okay. He's like, so yeah, when I used to do number, I used to fuck up because I did this wrong, and then it was like, oh, that guy is not doing that wrong. You know what I mean? So
what would you start with Kevin Holland? Then? What would you? Because he has training in BJJ, and the thing Daniel Cormier was saying he'd get comfortable off his back, and I'm like, well. That's the problem, he can't get the submission against a wrestler because he's already a better wrestler. So you're at a supreme disadvantage, man. Supreme disadvantage. Like once you get behind a wrestler, you're done. Like you're not going to ever. That's it. Like he's not giving you anything. Like because yeah.
No, sorry. Go finish your thought.
It's just the mentality of a wrestler, an amateur wrestler, man. Once it's go, it's just a green light all the way through. And they powering through that shit. It doesn't matter how calm and patient you are. You have to have a much, much higher level of jiu-jitsu to be able to stop this guy because he's going to continue to press, and it's hard to stop a press like that. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, man, like there's a couple of things that people should understand when going against people that grew up wrestling, and like especially high level wrestlers. Remember the old Uriah Faber, not like this 45-year-old who steps in to make some money every so often.
WC, the best Uriah Faber.
The old Uriah Faber. You knew you were getting a couple of things. You were getting somebody who could take a punch. Number one. You could hit him as hard as you want, but he's bounced his head off of mats all his life. Like,
so he got hit that one time. That was it.
Yeah, but that was late in his career.
Yeah.
by Piotr Jan.
No. Oh, no. I'm talking about when he dropped that belt in WEC.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, everyone can, everyone can get caught
sure,
by Dominic Cruz or Jose Aldo, but like think about it this way: so you're getting a wrestler, you're getting the good chin. It's a baseline, a good chin. They got a hard head. They also got cardio, and they have this other sort of like non-measurable where it's heart. They have heart. Wrestlers at that level have never given up. In fact, they've had to overcome giving up to get to that level in a certain way. Like you can't beat somebody as mentally strong as a mentally strong wrestler. Like, dude, some of the best people I know were just good wrestlers, and that's where they get their mind frame from, because they know how to wrestle their inner demons too. So when you're gonna fight them in the octagon, you're not gonna get somebody who's distracted by shit on the outside. They're looking right at you. That's essentially what I mean. So
like John Jones.
Yeah, like that exactly. Like John Jones is a high-time wrestler, and then he was able to translate that to MMA. But like you can see, like once he enters the cage, he's not thinking about the DUI. He's not thinking about anything else. Like he's looking at you, and you're next. And that's what wrestlers bring.
You're next.
Yeah, and that's the thing is wrestlers bring this other element to the game that, like, when it was the very grassroots of the UFC, the best fighters on average were people who could take you down and hold you down, and then that became the Royce Gracie or the Hoist Gracie, jiu-jitsu, where they can hold you down, but you can also submit them, so then, you see this whole evolution, and then, stand-up gets better, and then everything has to get better from there. But that's why, like, guys like Charles Oliveira, when we're going in this Michael Chandler fight, that's why I was so excited when I saw him improve. You know what I mean? Because he's the first of the next generation to where when he broke into the UFC at like 18 years old, which was crazy, his jiu-jitsu was already as good, if not better, than technically Damian Maia's, Anderson Silva's, any of the Nogueiras, any of these guys. It was just as good. He was just smaller in weight, So he's coming in with 18 years old of, what are we talking, like championship level jiu-jitsu, no stand-up experience really. So if he could get you down, you were fucked. But if you couldn't get him, if he couldn't get you down, then whatever, man. Like if you're a wrestler, that's not going to be hard. And you also hit hard. Like he was a small kid, like you could beat him up. So then all of a sudden he makes this whole other, transition to where he knows his ground game so good, but he develops his wrestling so he can take you down or not get taken down by you. He can also hold you down in many different ways, because like holding somebody down in a BJJ sense and holding somebody down in a wrestling sense are two totally different things.
Yeah.
So, a guy like Charles Oliveira developed his stand-up to the point where now he's working over people that are known for their stand-up, like high-level guys. Tony Ferguson didn't even stand a chance. Like,
boxing's an easier thing to learn. Like it's a much easier thing to learn later on. Like you could just learn it.
Boxing makes more sense after you've gone through a couple other trials and tribulations with other martial arts. Like, you would think baseline punching and kicking and stuff like that, like that's all baseline. But like in terms of boxing is an art form. So once you learn how to punch and kick, then you can learn how to box, because it makes more sense with your foot movements, with your head movements, like anything like that, So the fact that Charles Oliveira was able to put it together at still a pretty young age, he hasn't even hit his physical prime yet. Oh man, this Michael Chandler fight, I'm so happy. I'm so happy it's for the title.
Beating up Tony Ferguson on his feet's not like it's a small thing at all. So man, I mean, like it's not small. Like, I mean, that's why when Justin Gaethje did it, we was like, damn, like, and then it happened again, and we weren't expecting it from Charles Oliveira, not necessarily. No, we knew that he was a. I mean, I said not necessarily. I was too, but like it wasn't necessarily a given. It's still Tony Ferguson. He's got to go up in there against a straight dog. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't know. Sometimes straight dogs just bring it a little bit differently. But Charles Oliveira was he was just class personified, just outclassed him in every way conceivable, you know.
And that's the thing that I really appreciate about, fighters making an evolution in their own game is guys like Charles Oliveira. And that's why I was so excited, because when I first watched him fight, he was so good at jiu-jitsu. Like, it was weird. Like, there was a dude, I don't even remember who it was. I have to look at the actual fight, but it was one of his first fights in the UFC against this guy. And Oliveira, like, was able to, like, manage to get him to at least, I don't know if he took him down or if he, like, the guy was just like, all right, you want to do this? Let's do this. But like, stand up, Oliveira pretty much was getting just knocked around. And then finally he, like, clinched up with him and tried to drop into guard. And, like, it wasn't a, like, voluntary, like, it was voluntary on the guy's part. Like, it wasn't something he was, like, opposed to doing. So he starts, like, wrestling around with them, and all of a sudden I see a different animal come out of Oliveira, and just boom, submission. And it was like, whoa, you just did that to a guy who was not scared of you on the ground. Like, maybe, okay, chalk that one up to, you caught him or something like that. But then he keeps doing it. It's like, all right. And these are, low level guys that he's beating. And then he gets like
it's put on purpose.
Yeah, pretty much. And actually finishing fights too, like that's another part.
Wasn't that John Fitch that had those? He had like a string of like submissions and like out of nowhere. Like he'd be like pretty much losing the fight, or I wouldn't say losing the fight, but like the submissions were all out of nowhere. It was like 4 or 5 of them straight, something crazy like that. And then we know what happened with him, but I think it was John Fitch. But like, yeah, Charles Oliveira is on purpose John Fitch. No flukes about
it. The thing too is Oliveira submitted some pretty good guys. Like he has, God, it's like 19 wins by submission in his career and 8 wins by knockout. Like the dude is incredible.
He's very well rounded.
He's one of those guys, like I was just knocking on Sam Alvey's record, but like with Oliveira's age, he's coming into the point where like the losses are farther back on his record than the wins. You know what I mean? Like there's not a recent loss that I can think of that he had that, it's like, oh, okay, like, maybe not. But no, like his problem is he was so one-dimensional with his jiu-jitsu that he what are you going to do? Like if a guy keeps just beating people by submission, okay, yeah, whatever. That's not necessarily all that, exciting when it's Charles Oliveira doing it as a teenager. Like he doesn't have like a sterling personality. He's not like Conor McGregor. Like he's just winning. Like, I mean, these guys honestly look like they have a fighting chance until it goes to the ground. And then, okay, so then you keep screwing around and give him all these, names or not non-names. And then eventually he's beaten everyone at the bottom level. You can't keep giving him guys that are just coming into the UFC. So then you have to start giving him names. And like he fought like Jim Miller. He fought, Nick Lentz. God, what was the other one? Kevin Lee was the guy he submitted. And then he beats the shit.
Kevin Lee, bro.
What?
What happened to Kevin Lee? He was pretty much Kevin Holland. I get them confused, actually. I never, like, actually make the mistake, but in my head, I jumble them up because they both idiots that talk too much shit and then don't back it up.
Kevin Lee's problem is Kevin Lee because he switched his training camps to Firas Zahabi a couple fights ago, and you can tell that, ability-wise and game plan-wise, he's going in there doing the right things. I just don't think he's a top-level fighter.
Yeah, he probably needs to go to Bellator. Problem is when people. Well, I say that because he'll have more of a chance because I just think they give him more chances. Like I don't think they'll give him a chance in UFC, and that's really what Bellator is about. It's just getting a chance. Not that anybody's easier over there because like you're gonna run into somebody who beat the shit out of you. Like it's gonna happen. Bader. Lots of success over there. I think what was Phil Davis. Ton of success over there. Guys go over there and they're successful. As a matter of fact, Rumble Johnson and Yoel Romero is a big fight I'm looking forward to. Could you look that up and tell me when that is? I know it's very soon. I want to say it's early May or possibly this week. I forget which. It could possibly be on my wife's birthday, but that's too bad for her.
May 7th.
You know. Well, it's not my birthday, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, and at the same time, you bring up a good point where, like, yeah, some of these guys can go over to the Bellator and have good success at Bellator. But how many guys have come over from Bellator and had good success in the UFC if they weren't already unsuccessful in the UFC? So enter Michael Chandler, who we've known. Yes. We've known this guy should have been in the UFC for a long, long time. And to be perfectly honest, this is the fight that I think they should have the championship for. Everyone's saying make it the Poirier-McGregor fight, and I disagree. I don't think McGregor should win that Poirier fight and be the champion. I think he needs to fight more. So
yeah, I'm okay with that because of that. But I had a very different line of thinking. I don't even. It should be Poirier and Gaethje, but whatever.
Yes, yeah.
And it is what it is. I don't care because they're all going to fight each other anyway.
And there could be that matchup, the Poirier-Gaethje fight for the title, and that'd be okay too. You could have gone, Oliveira-Poirier or Oliveira-Gaethje or Chandler-Gaethje and Chandler fucking Poirier. But the thing is Dustin Poirier is doing the right thing by accepting the McGregor trilogy. He's doing the right thing because this is when you have this fight. Just like the other one we were talking about, this is when you have the trilogy, when they're both competitive, when there's title implications, when there's something on the line other than just a good pay-per-view, because I don't give a shit about the Nate Diaz trilogy with Conor McGregor unless Nate Diaz fights more and wins more, so like.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean.
So with the Poirier McGregor fight, oh, dude, not only would it make sense for them to fight again because it's a trilogy, but dude, both of these guys can go fight for the title and be champion. So do it. Do it now. Do it before McGregor loses interest. Because if he wins this fight, he's going to get interested again.
What fight's this weekend? Is it the Masvidal fight?
Yes, I think it is. I think it is the Masvidal fight.
You sure it's not the April 24th?
Let me.
April 24th. I feel like 24th because there's a big. That's what. Well,
you're right. It's April 17th this weekend. There's the Gastelum Whitaker fight.
Okay, and then April 24th is that fight. Good. That's my wife's birthday. But you know what? Guess what? That's why I have a mobile device. I'm going on a safari with the kids. It's not a real safari. It's like a fake dinosaur park that's here in Chico. I don't know why it's out. But I know. No, okay. So I wanted to talk about this Masvidal fight. Unless you want to talk about Whitaker Gastelum.
That one deserves some talk. I don't know about the rest of the card, but that one does.
Okay, so we'll move the Masvidal fight. We'll talk about that on the next episode because I got a lot to say about that. Mostly the same shit I was saying. I think he's gonna get his ass whooped, full camp or not. Especially after what we saw with Usman, hitting his last fight against. I told you he wasn't gonna do shit, Burns. But I digress. I already shit on you a little bit. I'll wipe my ass later.
And I'll say one thing about that, just in my my response to set up the next time we talk about it.
Yes.
Jorge Masvidal did a great job in the first fight, and he got what he wanted for this one, which is time to train. So you know what? With everything we saw with Usman, Masvidal better use that time to train. He better come in and make the point that he wanted to make in the first fight, because you know what? Usman is just looking good at this point.
This is what it looks like. Stand up, take down. Done. Stand up at the end of the beginning of the round, second round. He's gonna wear him down. Usman's gonna wear him down. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna get into it, but I think he's just gonna take kind of the easy route with it. Not too easy. He's gonna prove himself on his feet, but it'll be easy enough to where Masvidal is gonna have a very long, arduous road to ever facing him again. So yeah, he better hope somebody else will get lucky against Usman, because I don't think he's ever gonna fight for the title again. But one guy who I think will fight for the title is Whitaker. I don't see Gastelum doing much to Whitaker in this fight. I just don't. And it's not nothing against Gastelum. I think Whitaker's pretty focused. I think he's going to his ass whip against Adesanya again, but I think he's focused, and that makes him a little more dangerous than Gastelum. Not that Gastelum's, like I said, I do not want to shit on Gastelum whatsoever. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not saying he's not up to the fight because he could just knock Whitaker the fuck out, and that'd be the end of this conversation. But what do you think?
Honestly, I
Now's the time to think about it, buddy.
No, I really want to see that fight, and I don't have anything going on next Saturday like I did this Saturday, so I don't have to rewatch. I can watch it live. But
would it go for ice cream afterwards or before?
Oh no, I don't think this is that kind of card. That's the next card with Shevchenko.
Is that the one? Is that the one you said you had to watch with your pants off as a man?
Which one?
I don't know. You said it. We got it on the last podcast. That's what you said on the last podcast. No. It's a Masvidal one. You said I got to watch that with my pants off as a man, and I was like, I don't know what that means.
That sounds like something I'd say. I don't remember who.
You definitely said that. Maybe you were high. He gets high, people.
No,
on life. Hey, on life,
marijuana is illegal in like most states.
I didn't say anything about marijuana. Don't tell on yourself. I said you get high on life. Maybe paint fumes sometimes. No, but
okay. I said marijuana. You're like, oh no, he gets high on paint fumes. Oh yeah, it's fucking better.
Well, man, you work at a paint factory, so it gets a little crazy in there.
I definitely do not. But no, honestly, I really do want to see this Whitaker Gastelum fight. It is like one of those fights that could potentially be the greatest fight of the year. These both both showed the ability to be at a top level. The thing is unlike the first time around, this time I'm rooting for Gastelum. So I mean, the first time around, like Whitaker, he was the better fighter, but like this time I'm rooting for Gastelum because if he loses this fight, he's either going to be the ultimate gatekeeper or he should just fucking hang him up, man. Like, I don't know where you're going from here.
Yeah, I'm with that too. And that's where I go with these fights. It's always weird when you're put in that situation because I found myself, I'm like, man, Cerrone needs to win this fight because if he doesn't, he's ultimate. He already is the ultimate gatekeeper, but like, with guys like that who I'm like, man, you gotta respect everything they've done for the sport, their longevity and everything like that, and their level of skill. And you got to respect these two guys coming in there and doing this, but they can't only do it at a certain level for so long. And whoever loses is going to knock them down a peg. I think Whitaker's got, I don't know if he's got more left in the tank, but you're right about Gastelum, and I don't want to see that happen to him. Not yet. It's got to happen to everybody, but I don't want to see that happen to Gastelum yet. I believe if he can win this and get that fight against Adesanya, that'll be fight of the year.
Yeah.
Depending on how much Gastelum has grown from the first fight. I know Izzy has. Oh my God, I know he's
Izzy's become Izzy, but at the same time, you're absolutely right. Seeing what Gastelum can make better, because we don't with how good he was, we don't know if there's more to come or if that's as good as it gets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm a little skeptical about that because I think it might be the latter. I think it might be as good as it gets, but who knows? Gastelum is a guy I don't want to count out. I don't think it's smart to count him out like that. And he's the type of guy that's tried to be a personality. He's tried to make himself more like in a Cejudo fashion, which wasn't very flattering. But he tried. He tried. You got to have people that try, man. If you're not trying, what are you doing? And I think that he might be able to put together a pretty good performance. If he doesn't, then see you in Bellator, where they'll give you a title shot just because you're walking in from UFC. I don't know how fair that is to say, but it seems accurate enough to me to where saying it's not a knock on somebody. I mean, it is what it is. And like I said, it's more about the amount of. It's more about the fact that you will get a chance in Bellator before you get another one in UFC. You know what I mean? Cyborg She wasn't going to get another chance. I don't know why, but it was like, no. Like, you can forget about it. Like, you lost. You got your ass knocked out. That's it. You're no longer to go. And she knew she needed to jump ship to Bellator. And they gave her a chance against Julia Budd immediately. So that's what I mean by that. It's not and she won the damn fight. So it's not like it's a bad thing. You want to use your credentials for good. You don't want to just sit there like the UFC does and let people just sit until there's nothing left for them to do, and then they haven't fought in so long to get their ass whooped. That's happened before as well. Is there any other fight on that card coming up this weekend?
Let me get another look. I had 261 pulled up. Jeremy Stevens is fighting
Okay.
Drakkar Close, and Drakkar Close actually looks pretty entertaining. So, Stevens is there to be the gatekeeper once again, because nothing's going to happen for him even if he wins. But
respect for me.
Arlovsky's fighting, Luis Pena's fighting, Ricardo Ramos.
Arlovsky's on the bubble. He loses ever again, and he's gone. He's not getting a title fight, but if he ever loses again, he's gone. See you in Bellator.
Other than that, it's kind of like the card this weekend where there's a lot of people that I don't know. Like there's a lot of fighters out there, but the ones that I see, like I like watching Luis Pena fight. But at the same time, I don't know much more about him than he's giant and has an afro. Seems like a good fighter. 8-3. So
look at that Bellator card for me, please. That Rumble Johnson and Yoel Romero, because I know better than to look forward to this fight. I know better. I've seen Bellator do this time and time again. Have this big marquee fight between these two nasty knockout artists, and not a fucking thing happens. I'm not saying it happens every single time, because I've seen Bader knock people out. I've seen him get knocked out. Like, it happens. It happens. I've seen Pitbull crush people. I'm talking about I've seen them have these heavyweight things. I've seen somebody, I think it was Matt Matrione, kick somebody in the nuts in the fight. That was it. It was like 2 minutes in, kicked straight in the balls, done. Had to just call that whole fight off. So I just don't want to be disappointed with this Rumble Johnson and Yoel Romero fight. Were you able to pull that up yet?
I'm looking for it.
Looking for it. What's your opinion on these two? Because they're in that light heavyweight Grand Prix.
I love both of them, but I don't care about Bellator. I know who the top fighters are, and it's basically Patricio Pitbull. So there's,
the question I gave it to you without talking about Bellator. It'd be easier that way. I'm not trying to be an asshole.
It doesn't matter.
You say you love those two. You love those two. So talk about those two and the fight between them.
Because I don't care to talk about the fight between them, because it's not a competitive fight. Like, no matter how competitive it is when they do it, because Rumble Johnson versus Joel, I get it. I don't care. Yeah. Take us home. Oh, okay. That's my job. Yeah. This is Sporticus, and you have been sports entertained.
Sporticus is now on Patreon. We have 3 tiers: $1, $2, and $5. You can get things like bonus episodes, chat forums, polls and voting, live stream Q&As, monthly giveaways, and fan recognition. Become a patron today.